Every disaster movie, every news report of a hurricane or a blackout, it all paints a picture. A picture of chaos, of people scrambling, of a world turned upside down. And in the quiet corners of our minds, many of us, especially those who have seen a few more seasons, tend to think, well, that won't happen to me. Things will be fine. It's a comforting thought, a warm blanket against the chill of uncertainty. But that comfort, that assumption that things will simply work themselves out, is not just naive. For seniors, it is the single most dangerous mistake you can make when a crisis looms. Not because you're weak, but because that passive optimism is a direct threat to your well-being. The world doesn't care about your good intentions or your hope for the best. It only cares about preparation. And if you're not prepared, fine quickly becomes catastrophic. Conventional wisdom, often peddled by those who haven't lived long enough to truly understand the fragility of systems, suggests that a calm demeanor is enough. That resilience is purely mental. That's a lie. Resilience is built on tangible actions, on foresight, on a clear-eyed assessment of risk. During Hurricane Katrina, the stories of those who waited, who assumed the government would arrive, who believed their neighbors would help without being asked, are heartbreaking. Many of them were seniors, trapped in homes that quickly became death traps, not because they lacked courage, but because they lacked a plan. They assumed things will be fine, and the storm, the gridlock, the heat, and the lack of resources proved them fatally wrong. The road to disaster is paved with good intentions and the belief that someone else will handle it. Don't let that road lead to your doorstep. Step 1. Reframe the threat. Because the world is not going to wait for you to be ready. The biggest threat isn't always the headline-grabbing earthquake or the Category 5 hurricane. Often, it's the mundane, the slow creep of disruption, a week-long power outage in winter, a sudden supply chain collapse that empties grocery shelves, a local emergency that cuts off access to essential services. These aren't Hollywood blockbusters. They are real, and they happen. The assumption that things will be fine is a bet against reality. It's betting your life on the hope that complex systems will never fail, that infrastructure is infallible, that human nature will always be at its best. That's a bad bet. Your home, your immediate surroundings, and your personal resources are your first line of defense. Not some distant government agency, not a fleeting promise on the news. You are your own first responder. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about empowering yourself with the truth. The truth is, you have the wisdom, the experience, and the judgment to make decisions that younger, more impulsive individuals often miss. Use it. Step 2. Turn your residence into a position worth defending. Your home isn't just a place to live. It's a fortifiable asset. While others are panicking, you can be managing your environment, controlling the variables that chaos will strip away from the unprepared. Start with water. A simple bathtub bladder, filled before municipal water shuts off, can hold 100 gallons. That's roughly 100 days of minimal rationing for one person. Water is heavy, over 8 pounds per gallon. Moving it when the grid is down is a physical tax you don't want to pay. Get it in place now. Food is simpler than the prepper community often makes it. Extend your normal pantry by 90 days using what you already eat. Canned goods, rice, beans, peanut butter. If your stove is electric, add a propane camp burner and 2 spare canisters. That's your entire cooking infrastructure. Entry hardening is where most people fail. A door frame reinforcement kit with steel strike plates costs about $40 at a hardware store. Most people, think the lock is the security. It's not. The lock is anchored into an inch of soft pine. One kick, and the wood splinters. By replacing those 1-inch factory screws with 3-inch hardened steel screws that bite into the structural studs of the house, you really change the math. A door that takes 4 kicks instead of 1 just bought you 30 seconds of decision time. That sounds like nothing, but in a break-in, it's everything. 30 seconds is the difference between being surprised in your sleep and being behind a secondary barrier with a defensive tool. This isn't about paranoia. It's about practical, affordable steps to secure your sanctuary. Step 3. Your medication supply is a tactical asset. Treat it accordingly. The most common cause of preventable death in older adults during extended infrastructure disruption is running out of prescription medication. Every first aid manual says, build a 3-day kit. That advice was written for healthy adults facing a weekend flood. 3 days of a blood thinner runs out on day 4. On day 5, the machine starts seizing up. Your heart rhythm isn't a preference, it's a mechanical requirement. Your body doesn't care that you have a stay-put doctrine. It only knows its internal logistics just failed. At that point, your fortifiable position is just a very quiet museum. 2 emergencies for the price of 1. Talk to your prescriber now, while the world is still working. The phrase you want is emergency supply request. Some insurers allow a 90-day fill. Some states have medical emergency dispensing laws that release up to 30 days during declared disasters. Know your category before you need it. Keep a printed medication list sealed in a waterproof bag, not on your phone. Phones die. Paper doesn't require charging. If you use a CPAP or an oxygen concentrator, your fortification plan must include a power strategy. A portable lithium power station can run a CPAP for 2 to 3 nights. It charges via solar or a car outlet. This isn't a luxury, it's life support. Without sleep, your judgment fails. When your judgment fails, the position is lost. Your health is not negotiable. Protect it with foresight. Step 4. Your neighborhood is your fire team, whether they know it or not. Human networks beat individual resources at almost every threat level. The retired nurse 2 doors down is worth more than a full trauma kit you don't know how to use. The guy with the tools across the street is your maintenance crew. You need 3 conversations. Your nearest neighbor, someone on the block who appears observant, and a contact outside your area who can relay information if local communications fail. Establish a check-in signal. A curtain position, a flag, anything visible from the street, meaning I'm okay or come to my door. This takes an afternoon. Do it anyway. The assumption that you are an island, self-sufficient, and alone is another dangerous mistake. In a true crisis, community is currency. Invest in it now. Share your plans, offer your skills, and build those vital connections. Your collective strength is far greater than your individual vulnerabilities. Step 5. Know the one condition that overrides everything. The things will be fine. Mindset often leads to paralysis, to waiting too long. But even the most hardened position has its limits. Define your exit condition before the event, not during it. During it, you'll be running on adrenaline, and you will make the wrong call. The trigger is structural fire, rising water inside the building, or active violence that cannot be deterred. Write the specific condition in your own handwriting. Laminate it. Keep it with your documents. When it triggers, you already know where you're going. Your exit plan is not a failure of your fortification. It is the final layer of your engineering. It's the ultimate act of self-preservation. Consistently, the people who knew their home, knew their neighbors, and had a 90-day medication supply outlasted the ones who grabbed a bag and ran. Or worse, did nothing at all. The chaos doesn't care how young you are or how optimistic. Physics applies to everyone with complete indifference to fitness level. You are operating from a fixed, fortifiable position with decades of local knowledge and the judgment to make decisions without burning your adrenal system in the first 6 hours. The young ones with their 63-liter bags are fighting the terrain. You are using it. They are fighting the weather. You are sheltered from it. They are fighting a million other people. You are sitting in your living room, watching the street, waiting for the noise to subside. The doctrine is simple. Harden the frame. Stock the pharmacy. Connect the neighbors. Write down the trigger. The mission doesn't pause because the lights went out. You aren't waiting it out. You are maintaining a strategic position. You are the anchor of the block. While the world outside is vibrating with panic, your house is silent, functional, and ready. This is where the lived experience of an older adult becomes a weapon. You've seen crises before. Use that patience. It is your greatest tactical advantage. The position is hardened. The medication is stocked. The trigger condition is written down. Go find the next problem.